Welcome everyone to another startup and automobile documentation. What we have here is a 2019 Ford EcoSport SE four-wheel drive. This EcoSport is painted in the smoke exterior color. It does have smart key access for the front doors. On the key fob you have the buttons for lock, unlock, and panic. The front door panels have storage areas with bottle holders, and you do have power windows, locks, and mirrors. This one has an ebony black interior, and SE models come with cloth seats. It does have a powered driver's seat with manual lumbar support and a fully manual front passenger seat. But now that we're behind the wheel, let's go ahead and start the engine. And along with Smart Key, it does have push button ignition. The EcoSport was Ford's entry in the subcompact crossover segment. While the model dates back to the early 2000s, it wasn't until 2018 when Ford brought the model to the United States, following a massive surge in popularity for subcompact crossovers. Globally, the EcoSport lasted for 2 generations, albeit it was only the second-gen model that was sold in the US market. Likewise, this 2019 of course represents the second and final generation of the EcoSport, codenamed B515, which dates all the way back to 2012 in select international markets. In the US, however, it was sold from model years 2018 through 2022. It shares its platform with the Mark VI Ford Fiesta, which was sold domestically from 2011 to 2019. It did get a mid-cycle refresh for 2018, which coincided with the model's introduction to the US market. The US market 2019 model year EcoSport came in 4 trim levels: S, SE, SES, and Titanium. There were 2 different engines offered depending on which drivetrain you got. Front-wheel drive models have a 1-liter EcoBoost turbo inline 3 with 123 horsepower. If you opted for intelligent 4-wheel drive like the one in this video has, you get a 2-liter naturally aspirated Duratec inline 4 with 166 horsepower. Both engines were paired as standard to a 6-speed automatic transmission. SES models came standard with 4-wheel drive and the 4-cylinder engine. Competitors for the EcoSport in 2019 included the Chevy Trax, Hyundai Kona, Honda HR-V, and the Nissan Kicks, among several others. In Ford's US 2019 crossover lineup, the subcompact EcoSport was the smallest, slotting below the compact Escape. In the instrument cluster, we have 4 analog gauges, which are your tachometer, speedometer, fuel gauge, and temperature gauge, and there was also a digital info display, which can be gone through via these controls on the steering wheel. So right now we're on my view, so you can have whatever you want: your digital speedometer, fuel economy, calm screen, so nothing, and then your audio info, or back to the digital speedometer. Audio information, phone, various information and vehicle settings, toggle your rear parking sensors, you have your trip computers, gives you your average fuel economy, that kind of stuff, and back to that my view. It has a 4-spoke design, leather-wrapped and multifunctional steering wheel. It does have sport grips. And as for controls, on this side, you have your information display controls. Below that, your cruise controls. And then on this side, you have your audio controls, along with your voice control and Bluetooth phone controls. The steering wheel is tilt and telescopic. You have your headlight switch, panel dimmer, fog lamps, climate vent for the driver, On this side, you have your high beam and turn signal stalk. And on this side, you have your wiper stalk. Going down the center of the interior, you have a little storage tray up top. You have the touchscreen interface for your Sync 3 infotainment system. We'll go over the system more in a bit. Some physical radio/infotainment system controls. Central climate vents, along with your hazard switch. And right here we have a set of single zone automatic climate controls. You have your temperature on this side, fan speed on that side, then you have your auto mode, different zones, defrosters, and whatnot. And then you also have 3-stage heated front seats with the controls for that on either side. From there you have 2 USB-A ports, along with the toggle buttons for your auto start-stop and traction control. Just ahead of the shifter is a little bit of storage with a 12-volt power outlet. Putting it in reverse does reveal a backup camera with guidance lines. The parking brake is hand operated. You have a little bit of storage, 2 cup holders, I suppose that's a bottle holder, and you've also got a center console with a removable tray. A little bit of a storage shelf above the glove box. Both sun visors do have vanity mirrors and lights. And the driver's one also has a little card holder. Manually dimming rear view. On the overhead console, you have your overhead lighting, your passenger airbag indicator, a sunglass holder, and the power controls for your sunroof. It is one-touch automatic. And you can also open the sunroof as just a vent. Alright, and here is the Sync 3 infotainment system in this 19 EcoSport SE. This is a very simple system, this version of Sync 3. It's not crazy with navigation or any of that stuff. This is just your kind of your basic system. Home screen is right here. You have a compass, radio. Your sources are AM, FM, Sirius XM, plus you have Bluetooth audio streaming. Under phone, basically just your Bluetooth phone pairing stuff. Apps, not too many apps right here in this car. Have various settings. You have your sound, all your sound settings, that kind of stuff. And I think this actually has a pretty decent stock sound system, at least from what I was listening to via the Bluetooth audio streaming. I was impressed by the bass. Clock settings, Bluetooth settings, phone settings. And you even have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in this vehicle. But yeah, there's really not too much to this system. But now we'll roll down the driver's window and have a look at the engine bay. The driver's window is fully automatic. Standard on SE models are these 16-inch 7-spoke shadow silver alloy rims. Four-wheel drive EcoSports are powered by the model's top engine for 2019, that being Ford's Duratec 2-liter naturally aspirated inline-4. It has an aluminum block and head, as well as dual overhead camshafts, 4 valves per cylinder, direct injection, and variable cam timing. Horsepower is rated at 166 at 6,500 RPM, and torque is rated at 149 pound-feet at 4,500 RPM. This engine is paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission with a manual mode, and EcoSports with this engine came with Ford's intelligent 4-wheel drive system. Running on regular unleaded with a 13.8-gallon fuel tank, EPA estimates for a four-wheel drive EcoSport are 23 mpg in the city and 29 mpg on the highway. It has a McPherson strut front suspension and a multi-link rear suspension. Stopping the EcoSport are four-wheel disc brakes. Curb weight for this one is somewhere around 3,300 pounds, and towing capacity for four-wheel drive EcoSports is 2,000 pounds. That's actually pretty impressive for this type of car, I think. Fuel doors on the driver's side, roof rails. The back door panels also have bottle holders. And on the rear passenger side, you have a 12-volt power outlet. You can fold the back seats down. Just pull up the seat base. And then you can fold it down when you have the headrest down. Also a little bit of storage right here. Both front seats do have mat pockets in the backs, coat hooks, and rear passengers do get their own folding center armrest with two cup holders. Now, in terms of space back here, I'm about 6'1" with the driver's seat in a pretty comfortable position for myself. Headroom is actually not too bad. I have like an inch or so of headroom. Legroom is not the greatest though. As you can see, there's just not that much legroom, but somehow I actually have a really good amount of footroom. I guess the front seat is kind of higher up. But back seat space, I mean, it's a subcompact crossover. Not really, you're not going to be expecting something cavernous anyway in this class. In terms of this car, I think this is a pretty good deal, especially for the money, because it's not that much, just a mid-grade trim level on a subcompact entry-level SUV. And you still have heated seats, a sunroof, automatic climate control, power driver's seat, you know, Bluetooth audio streaming, all that kind of stuff. I think it's a pretty good value. Now my biggest drawback is probably going to be styling. I just don't think it's a really good-looking car, in my opinion. I just think something about the proportions, it's kind of stubby and odd. But I mean, looks, that's a completely subjective thing. And then also, backseat space leaves a little bit to be desired, especially if you have the seat even further back. Then again, this is a subcompact, and I think you get a pretty good amount of stuff even on this just a mid-grade trim level, the SE. Even though the exterior isn't really my personal cup of tea, I think the interior is pretty stylish. And the thing I like about this car is that it's very, very narrow and short in length. It's very easy to park. And then you still get the full-time four-wheel drive system and pretty good ground clearance. So overall, it does have its downsides, but I think it's got a lot of upsides too, and I think it's a pretty compelling little package. Single exhaust, rear wiper, and this actually has a side hinge tailgate with the release integrated into the taillight. With the back seats up, the EcoSport provides 20.9 cubic feet of cargo space. Fold the back seats down and you then get 50 cubic feet. Now this load floor is actually, well, you have multiple tiers for it. You have your toolkit in there. But as you can see, there's like a couple different things you could say we'll insert it into this top one. Now you have a higher load floor. Anyhow, thanks for checking out this tour of this 2019 Ford EcoSport. And as always, stay on the lookout for future tours.